And the stream is live.
You want me to tweet?
Tweet it.
Tweet.
Twatted.
Tweet.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's going to be a no from me, dog. Y'all want to do a podcast today?
Let's
Are you
pod.
ready? Well, what is Rob typing right now?
I don't
Emailing?
really know what he's typing.
I'm going to write a formal letter
A
to the
complaint?
podcast.
To whom it may concern.
I hope this finds
Does
you
anyone
well.
ever write letters that start with to whom it may concern anymore?
I feel like I wrote an email like that not too long ago, but
You would.
I think
It
I did
usually
once on, like, a letter of
concerns-
rec for a kid.
I think I started
It
to.
usually
and then
concerns nobody when it's to whom it may concern.
Yeah, no, they just
Yeah.
go, not me.
Yeah,
Well, that's
dude.
not me.
Yeah.
They just send it around the company and go, well, no one?
Are
Okay.
you who this may concern?
Probably not.
I want to do this.
You ready to start?
I don't really know. We'll find out.
What are we doing today?
Who are we talking about?
Podcasting? Are we?
Cast a
I guess we
poll.
could.
Let's do it.
You're listening to Thunderheads, a podcast for Thunder fans by Thunder fans.
Welcome to Thunderheads. I'm Brandon Soul, joined by the leader of the mob, Sir Jacob Niffen.
Hello.
How you liking being on video so far? I know it's been like
Uh,
10 seconds. How do you like it so far?
I don't know what to do with my
I thought
hands.
this was candid camera, I thought.
That's all of that. Doctor, that's the doctor you hear, Sir Rob Larson.
Hello.
That's weird. That's weird. He's got his famous spoon straw.
It's made its return.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you basically you
Take
just,
a bite for the
You
for the people.
basically just put it in the thing and you can just get some off
We've
of
got
it.
like a 5-year-old communist over here on the podcast.
It's a great demonstration, and that is the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going to ponder on what was said in that players-only meeting. We'll talk about Josh Huestis and his minutes going forward, and if Dakari Johnson has earned a spot in the rotation. But first, your disaster of the week. I don't know if this one's funny or not, but I found it funny. It's kind of
That's
stupid.
funny.
All right, Las Vegas's first driverless shuttle hit the streets on Wednesday, right? Driverless shuttle, and was promptly hit by a truck.
Oh no.
It sounds like a joke, but it actually happened.
Yeah, it actually happened. The shuttle was performing a test ride with passengers downtown when it was grazed by a delivery truck around noon, the city said. The human driver of the truck, who was backing out at the time, was cited by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for the crash. He got a ticket for it when no one's blaming the machine.
Yeah, well, it's not its fault. Ever.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Isn't that how the world ends?
Well, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
because then no one's blaming the machines,
no,
the
that's
robots.
They just kill us later. That's
Yeah, I know, because they're never getting any blame, so no one's ever restricting
one's
them, and
checking
so
them.
they just keep advancing,
Right.
and everyone, they're the good people. You know, it's like how how white people got in front.
wow.
Well, you know,
Oh,
they
wow.
were the good people,
Wow.
and look what happened.
Yeah, it went unchecked for too long.
The shuttle did what it was supposed to do, in that its sensors registered the truck, and the shuttle stopped to avoid the accident. Unfortunately, the delivery truck did not stop and grazed the front fender of the shuttle. Had the truck had the same sensing equipment that the shuttle has, the accident would have been avoided.
Yeah.
That's one side of the story.
Well, it sounds like the
We
article
need-
was written by the shuttle
The
Yes,
shuttle
yes,
company
it
has
does.
put out this news story.
So, passengers on board the vehicle confirmed that the shuttle did stop, but in the path of the truck. Boom! The truth comes out. The people were in the
I
truck.
see.
The shuttle just stayed there. It just stayed still. And this is a quote. And we were like, oh my gosh, it's going to hit us. It's going to hit us. And then it hit us, said passenger Jenny Wong. And the shuttle didn't have the ability to move back either. Like, the shuttle just stayed still.
Jenny, you dumb bitch. Get out of the shuttle.
Wow.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, but then you risk your life. I mean,
You know,
even, yeah. Fortunately, no humans were injured in the crash. Just the
autonomous
driverless shuttle. There was a guy in the video that was like, I was looking in the car and I didn't see you. I was like, where, what's going on?
Who just hit us?
Robots. Who's to blame here? Let's be real.
I'm going to go truck.
With the human driver?
Yeah.
So you're part of the problem.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm completely for autonomous. Everything.
Yeah, but make sure that shit works first.
Well, yeah. Maybe test it.
So they just pulled out and they just stopped.
Yeah, that's. Well, there's a little confusion. That's like actually what they're trying to figure out right now. Is like if your autonomous car is about to either hit a person or like drive off a cliff and kill you, like it's got to make a decision there.
and
So
it's gonna kill you.
yeah, it's
That's
I
bullshit.
think
I,
that's-
want to buy that car.
Yeah, like so.
I want the asshole model that'll kill the other person.
Right,
Yeah.
like how do you?
I'll pay the extra $5,000 for
You
that.
want it to have your back.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation? It's
I
kind
paid
of confusing.
$30,000 for this car and it's gonna kill me. You son of a bitch.
That does sound like an upgrade that they would offer. Like this one will save you.
one
This
kills the
one's
other
gonna
person.
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This one's more likely to kill you.
20,000 more though. So.
yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, how much is your life worth? I guess.
Right.
Well, onto the Thunder. An up and down.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
It's a little weird that I really thought you were going disaster of the week with the guy who stole the truck and drove around South OKC. So this was a little weird for me that you didn't, and a little disappointing.
Why didn't I do that?
That would have been
Question.
solid.
Although
For everyone that doesn't know, there was
let's do
a
two
police
disasters of the
chase
week.
in Oklahoma City, South Oklahoma City, where a guy just ran from the police for like 6 hours, but the police weren't even really chasing him.
they just stopped.
Well,
Yeah.
he was only going
And-
like 60.
It was near the high school that
Sometimes.
It was near the high school that I work out, so we were on work at, and so we were on lockdown for like 3 hours, which was awful.
Because of that guy
lockdown, so-
going
And then,
55 through a field.
And the most Oklahoman story that we could possibly make out of this car chase, a civilian pulled up, tried to
Oh,
block
right.
the car, jumped out, pulled out his handgun, and started lighting the fuck up out of the tires.
Yeah.
Turns out that guy's a pastor of a church.
Wow. Didn't he get arrested too?
He goes to my gym.
Did he get arrested?
I think
He,
I
he
heard
didn't get
did.
arrested. He got detained.
Oh, okay.
But he also
different.
goes to my gym. But yeah, so the headline
Just
reads,
working out his fingers.
Christian pastor shoots up truck during high-speed chase. Like, you
Amazing
only get that
headline.
headline in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
only in Oklahoma.
You're right, guys. That was a mistake by me. That should have been the disaster. Although,
But now we got two disasters.
it's funny that the first time they try this autonomous car, it fucks up.
Yeah, no,
it's
that
amazing.
it was great.
Like I said, up and down week for the Thunder. 2 losses to start the week, then they finish it off with 2 wins. No Steven Adams in those 2 wins. I don't think he's to blame for it though. But maybe they're getting it.
Correlation.
Maybe they're getting it together a little bit, right? So let's get all caught up before we talk about it. Rob's rundown.
All right. So we talked about the first game we have here is the Thunder at the Kings. We've already talked about this game a little bit, but the Thunder led by 15 after the first quarter, only eventually fall behind by 12. They lose 94-86. One of the bad stats from this game, the combination of Russ, Melo, and George shot 15 of 54 for just over 27% from the field.
Yeah, we really shouldn't have brought this one back in.
Not a good game.
No, horrible game.
Not fun. Not enjoyable.
It's weird because, I mean, you're about to get to the other games, so this game really feels like in the distant past. And maybe that's just me choosing to ignore it and move past it and start looking ahead, but it kind of feels like it was a while ago.
Yeah. And, I mean, yeah, the way that they're playing now, it seems like it's completely different.
Yeah.
The next game we have is OKC at Denver. The Thunder led for most of this game, especially early. The Thunder keep doing this thing where they take an early lead, and then they give it back.
I would be
Can't
interested.
maintain it.
How many games have they jumped out to a lead in this year? Maybe every single one of them?
Probably every game,
Yeah.
would be my...
Except the Jazz
they just like don't want it though. They're just like, man, I don't really
They
like
just
the
give
lead.
it back.
game. Yeah.
Why would
Which is
you-
weird because the benches played fairly well for the beginning of this year, but 11 lead changes, only one of which happened in the fourth quarter, where the Thunder just completely fell apart. They had 1 assist in the fourth to 4 turnovers. Russ was 1 for 7, a -10 in the fourth. The Thunder fall to the Nuggets 94-102. Big stat here, points in the paint. Denver 54, OKC 38. Not good.
Yeah, brutal loss. 6 for 22 from Russ for 13 points. 13 points on 22 shots. I mean,
Yeah.
whew, that's bad. I mean, it's hard to... If he's your best player, it's going to be hard to beat a good team, and Denver's been playing good ball. They had been playing good ball before that game. They've been playing good ball since that game. They were 7-5 after that game. I think they're 9-5 now, 10-5 maybe.
Something like
I
that.
think they've won 5 in a row. I'm probably just making that up. So
Just random Denver statistics.
But yeah, that was a rough one. 13 from Paul George, 28 from Melo. He actually played well if you look at the stat sheet, but
Yeah. All right, so then the next game we had was the Clippers at OKC.
now we're on to the good stuff.
This was a really fun game to watch from courtside,
I bet-
if you guys were wondering.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch.
Rob, good old Rob Larson here, had literally the best seats in the entire arena. Courtside, first 2 seats right by the scores table, right?
No.
Is that not the
No,
scores
we're
table?
on the opposite side.
Opposite side. Okay.
Yeah,
half
so
court,
by
on the
the
court.
half court, the opposite side of the benches. But
How was
yeah,
it?
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So the coolest part. So we're not media. Like we do
Right.
this. This is something we really enjoy. But
speak for yourself.
but we're not credentialed, so we don't get to go behind. We don't get that close to the players. So that was really cool right off the top. Was just to be able to see these guys up close like that. Also walking around.
Were they giant?
Yeah.
Like,
They're
was it
just
still
massive.
just
They're
mind
even-
blowing?
Yeah, they're bigger than you would like DeAndre Jordan, especially.
Oh my God.
Like it's just crazy how ginormous he is in
I
person.
remember walking by Perk a couple years back, and I was just like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
How?
And then walking sort of around,
Like down
below in the little tunnel, like walking past Sam Presti was really cool.
Did you feel his
I smelled
aura?
I smelled him as he walked by.
what was he
Yeah.
wearing?
What do you do? By that, do you mean you smelled him?
No, I
like
was just-
actively, or
No,
you
I
just
didn't want to make it.
He went up and sniffed him.
It's like,
I didn't want to make it awkward. I didn't want to be like, "Hey, you have to remove him." Like before
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
to watch the game.
well, that would've sucked.
Brian Davis, another one. He was walking by, taller than I thought.
Huh.
He's actually taller than I thought he would
Really?
be.
Refusing
Yeah.
to
I
I
believe
thought
it.
he was 3'4".
No, he's like I don't know.
I thought
how-
he had a shell.
Was
that
an
protected his
actual
back.
turtle.
What else?
You know Franklin from the cartoon? That's what I thought it was.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just. I mean, it was a really cool experience getting to do all that.
Yeah, I'm
And
jealous.
they didn't lose.
Yeah. So to the game, the Paul George coming out party, probably because I was sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Typical Thunder game where they were really good at times and then they were sort of really bad. They pushed the lead to 20 in the third quarter, and then it got a little squirrely. Given the Thunder struggles in the fourth quarter so far this season, how nervous did you guys get when they tied it up in the fourth
Oh.
about halfway through?
I was nervous, but I thought the Thunder were outplaying them, especially the starters, all game. I mean, if you look at the plus-minus, plus 27 for Paul George, plus 22 for Melo, plus 26 for Dakari Johnson, and plus 19 for Russ. It was when the bench came in that they started falling apart, and that's when the Clippers would make their run. So
And-
once the starters came back in, I felt okay.
We'll talk about that a little bit. That bench is not playing as well as they were to start out the season. The Thunder actually come through in this one as we were treated to a Dakari Johnson dagger a little bit there.
Nice setup by Russ, too, on that, trusting him.
Thunder win 120 to 111.
What are the-
If I can jump in on that one real quick, Clippers tie that game up at 103 apiece with 4.5 minutes to go. I was at that game as well. Nowhere near Rob. I was
Yeah.
a goddamn
I
mile
couldn't-
away from
You're
Rob.
I couldn't
the
see you
normal
way
seats?
up there. I couldn't see you.
I think I
But
saw a little blood trickle out your nose.
Did you look for him? You just go, huh? No.
I was
I keep
waving.
looking up.
I was
It's
waving.
so dark up there.
Clippers tie it up 103 with 4.5 minutes to go. With 2 minutes remaining in the game, the Thunder had gone from that 4.5 minutes under that 2-minute stretch, about 2.5 minutes. They had outscored the Clippers 14-4 in that 2-minute stretch. So that was, for me, that was really encouraging.
Yeah.
That this team has struggled in crunch time and, it hasn't stopped anybody. It has struggled to score the ball a little bit. And to go on a 14-4 scoring run in 2 minutes to close out a tied-up ball game was, even if it was against a depleted Clippers team, it was very encouraging to see.
Yeah, and another encouraging thing to it was Abrinas, 14 points. His
Right?
only breakout game, 4 for 5 from the field. He had a nice reverse layup that was like, ooh, I didn't know you could do that. 3 for 4 from behind the line. Yeah, I mean, the starters just dominated the game.
Abrinas has worked his way up to 40% three-point shooting on the season.
You're right.
Still can't get many shots. But
He has. And about Paul George, I'll let you get to the Dallas game. We'll talk about Paul George.
So the last game we have was a really fun game. If you're
It
a
was
Thunder fan.
enjoyable.
This was a little different from the other games where the Thunder, they started out a little slow, only managed 18 points, I believe, in that first quarter. They really picked up the second half, especially the third quarter. They managed 39 points. Really good
Better.
from, I think Paul George and Russ, I believe,
Yeah.
had 32 combined.
Well, Russ was so bad in that first half.
Yeah.
Came out,
Awful.
changed his shoes at halftime.
Damn neon orange shoes.
Changed his shoes at halftime, comes out of the third quarter, and it's hot. Got it going a little bit.
Yeah.
And when he got it going, Paul George got it going.
So those were the orange shoes from his MVP kit that he got from Jordan, apparently. Remember how
really?
he got the blues and the oranges? So those were the orange ones.
Huh,
interesting.
That's what I saw online. So
I also love that Russ
Everything
was,
online's true.
yeah,
Russ had some words for that Dallas bench in that third
Yes.
quarter.
Oh, he
Every
did.
time he hit a three, he said, "That's one, that's two, that's three," and just kept talking and talking.
Thunder
and talking.
win in a convincing manner, 112 to 99. Really just took over in the second half.
Also noteworthy, no Melo, no Adams for 2 straight games. Russ, 12 for 13 from the line. Looks to have a rhythm there again.
he back.
Yeah, I mean, he's done this in the past. His whole deep breath, super deep breaths before the free throw. You know, kind of like a gathering himself.
Mantra of sorts.
And I don't really think he's been doing that prior to the last couple of games. At least not to the extent.
Not as much.
Yeah, and so maybe he's just really trying to calm down. And one thing that I think everyone's noticed with his free throws is that he hasn't been getting lift on the shot. You know, they've been really flat, no arc, and they just look better. He looks more comfortable at the line, which is, I mean, that's huge. 12 for 13. Yeah. That's where a lot of his points. He's going to get to the line a lot, so that's where a lot of his points come from.
For sure. I also just kind of on that Paul George point from the Clippers game, like just him being so aggressive has been incredible the last couple of games.
Yeah,
like,
especially
so
getting
nice.
downhill.
Yeah, and just going to the rim and stuff like that. Like it's been a kind of little breath of fresh air, if I could speak.
One thing about him too, like, I mean, he goes off 42 in the Clippers game, as you said, 37 in the Mavs game. But it's weird when you're watching the game. You know he's got a lot of points. It's almost like it was with KD a little bit, where it just sneaks up on you. You're like, wow,
it's in the flow of the game. Nothing really felt forced, you know, and that's really encouraging. And like Jason was just mentioning, just his aggressiveness, his ability to get downhill, taking kind of what the defense gives him. If he's one-on-one with the big, he attacks the big. If the big is reeling and he's at the three-point line, he just pulls up for the J. He's a really, really good catch-and-shoot guy. I think his three-point percentage is up now to 41% on the season. I think that's probably where it's going to hover around for the rest of the year.
That would be nice.
I like it.
He's been real, and not only on that end, but the other end as well. He's
Oh my
Dude,
god!
he's so
I
good.
mean, he blows up the other team's complete offensive possession just by himself.
Leads the NBA in steals per game, leads the NBA in deflections per game, leads the NBA in loose balls recovered per game.
And his versatility on that end. I mean, last night against Dallas, he was guarding everyone from Dennis Smith Jr. up to Dirk Nowitzki. You know, that's insane.
And it goes back to the thing that I brought up weeks ago about the whole Roberson thing. If that's almost stepping on Roberson's toes now, though.
You are beating
like
this
how good,
Roberson
but it's
thing.
true though. Like Roberson, it's not allowing Roberson to shine because how good Paul George is on that end.
He looked really good last night.
So
Yeah.
and I know
He was better this week.
I think Brandon's already on board with this, but does that make Roberson more expendable come trade deadline?
I think so for sure. I don't see how it couldn't.
I'm gonna go no. I like Dre.
I will say. I mean, this is.
I'm gonna support him till I'm dead.
Just because it makes him expendable or tradable doesn't mean you
he's not
don't
good.
like him.
Yeah, no.
I mean, here's what I'll say. I think that he's jumped to be the most likely player to be traded on this team for me.
I think Jeremy Grant's still in that position, but
I
Really?
think it has to do with the contract because I think that Robertson has the tradable contract.
Yeah.
You know.
well, Grant has a very, very tradable contract. It's just you can't get anything back in return for it, you know. So
Well,
you can trade it easily, but it's not going to fetch you equal value return.
Sure.
But
I
Grant
think
has more value to the Thunder to that
Right.
point. He has more value to the Thunder than he would trading him for any assets that you would be able to get back.
Exactly.
I think
That's
is
what I was
If they
gonna say.
traded, I could see those two being paired together in a trade.
Yeah, and that's where I think Robertson can take his value to another team that needs that. You know, they need that, and it's $10 million. It's a good price to pay if that's what you need.
But-
And the Thunder would be able to get back something in return, you know, for a decent salary that can contribute.
You probably want to make sure old PG ain't leaving you.
That's
before
true.
you do that
That's
move.
true.
It's
You lose
crazy.
both of them, then
Yeah.
you're just
You're like,
defense
oh,
just completely
shit.
crashes.
right. So as for the week, actually, back to Paul George. You know, he played 41 minutes per
Hell
game
yes.
over the week. That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
They've been
You
playing
know
him a
that.
lot.
You know
Which is
that.
interesting at his position where they really have the most amount of guys to kind of cycle in there. You know, he plays that 3-4 spot. You can put Abrinas at the 3. You can put Robertson at the 3. You can put Grant at the 3-4. You can put Patterson at the 4. You can put Huestis at the 3-4.
All of them, really.
They have tons of guys to play that wing
Don't forget
position.
Singler.
Oh,
Well,
how can
you
I
could
forget?
forget him.
Yeah, no, you're right. And maybe some of this is due to Melo not playing against the Mavs. Also, Billy Donovan has kind of started to go with Paul George with that bench unit a little more.
Which I
Maybe-
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
looking good.
Maybe he's trying to figure out like kind of the rotation patterns and hasn't quite figured out how to keep George's minutes under 38.
Yeah, like how to keep him with Russ, but then also with the
Yeah.
bench and how to kind of finagle that time.
And maybe Paul George just has a certain play style that when he does play 40 minutes, he doesn't expend so much energy because just his length and he doesn't have to.
And just the way he never moves his face.
It doesn't. When he was going off in the Clippers game, was it the Clippers game? Oh, I mean, he went off in the past 2 games, but when he hits, 3 threes in a row, he just turns around.
Yeah.
Dead face.
Yeah, he did that last
Dead
night
face.
once. He was like, well, I don't
Was it
care.
you,
I don't
Jason?
really
That
care.
you made that Kawhi reference?
Yeah,
or
he's
analogy
basically
to him?
like a less unexcited Kawhi. Well, that was a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
Well,
So are you guys? Let's go around. Jacob, are you more encouraged or are you discouraged by this week?
I mean, it's hard to not say encouraged because the way they closed the week off.
Right.
And then they have another what should be easy win coming up Wednesday against the Bulls. And it seems like things are trending the right way. And the last time I said this, they lost 4 straight.
Yeah, didn't you say they were not going to lose one?
Yeah, I said they were going to run 6 straight, and then they lost the next 4, or the next 3. So yeah, but no, after and we'll get to this later. But after their player only meeting and some of the tweaks they've kind of made, they came out of that player only meeting, and Melo has shot significantly less ISO shots. He's really locked in on defense.
In the one
hasn't
game.
shot those
In the one game, yeah.
Yeah, well he played 2 after the players only meeting, right? Denver and
Just the Clippers.
It was after the Denver
Yeah, the
game.
players only was after the Denver.
Oh, okay.
Because they
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
that, and then they
that's-
were like, well, shit.
That's
Yeah.
my fault. Okay, yeah. Well, still, he played really good in both of those games. Picked his spots a little bit better, locked in on defense. They're getting Paul George going more. Just some things that I see that start to trend upward. Then you watch that first quarter of the Mavs game. That's a little concerning. But at the end of the day, they turned it on, And I think letting Paul George really get unleashed is really, really important for this team. And it's looking like he's getting there. So I would say encouraged. And we'll get this to later in the pod as well whenever we make our predictions. But I see them knocking off winning the next 2 ones.
You agree with that, Rob? Encouraged?
I'm definitely encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember that they played the Nuggets or the Kings.
Yeah, so
Because
maybe
the last
that
2
short-term
games,
memory.
so this is
were
like
so
super
good.
recency bias and maybe
Yeah,
a little
it could
bit.
be, but I mean, we were obviously they had a players only meeting, so we were really down. But the fact that I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they've turned it around. I don't know that we can say that after the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But and plus one of them was without Melo. They were both without Adams. So I don't know how
Right.
much stock you can really.
So
put
Adams
into
is the
that.
problem, guys. Clearly, it is.
Put in Dakari.
Yeah. We should talk about tradable contracts. Get Adams' ass out of here.
Talking
takes.
about Melo, though, and him not being around that Dallas game and him playing, you can't say he's playing within himself in the Clippers game because he was doing the opposite of that. He was being who the Thunder need him to be, want him to be. He did a really good job on Blake.
5 and 19 for Blake. 5
Yeah.
and 19.
Did
That's
a
incredible.
really good job. I mean, that's the thing. Melo's got strength. He can hang with those guys down there that want to try to post him up, and he's got good hands. When guys keep the ball low, he can slap it right out of their hand.
And see, we talked a little bit about how Melo's a little undersized to that 4 and how is he going to match up against these bigger guys. I actually like Melo against the bigger guys more than I like him against the stretch fours.
Absolutely.
He doesn't have to move his feet as much.
And he's not going to get lost on big guys.
Yeah, now that's going to be an interesting end of the week here for him when he's got to guard one of those bigs from the Spurs and then one of those bigs from the Pelicans. But I've liked him on those bigger guys so far. I felt like he's really held his own.
That is going to be
They
so
actually, I think we played the Pelicans earlier, right? And
In
they
the
did all right.
preseason, yeah.
Yeah,
He-
they did all right. It was
Yeah.
preseason, but
scary, though.
He just
It
might
is
get
a-
his ass
and now
beat
they're kind
by-
of going bonkers, the 2 of them.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they
That's
really
the
are
only thing
playing
if that one of those 2 guys goes down, the Pelicans are fucked.
well. Probably so.
Yeah.
Is there anything to Melo just being, I guess, less involved? Is that, I mean, equaling, that's kind of, small sample size, last 2 games, but people have kind of talked about it and said this is what needs to happen. Does that equal better team success if he is less involved?
I mean, I think making Paul George the guy, like kind of alongside
They
Russ,
kind of shuffled the deck a little bit after that
where it's
players
like,
only meeting.
where your offense, where you're using your plays to get Paul George involved, and then Melo's kind of your third option there. Because Russ is going to just get points just because
Sure.
by playing as Russ. But when you're using your offense to say, hey, PG, here's the ball in a spot you like, now do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that when Paul George is being aggressive.
Right.
That opens things up for everyone.
Yeah.
When he's not deferring to Melo, I think that's hugely positive.
But I will also
Huge.
say that whenever I was there at the Clippers game, I was sitting on the court.
I
And the
get it.
fuck-
I get
we
it.
got
I
that
get it.
part, asshole.
You were on the damn floor.
But you like watching that. Melo is, I mean, other than Russ, like Melo is the most vocal guy out there. Like he's even during the timeouts or during free throws, like he's working with Roberson on like offensive positioning on the other side of the court while the free throws are being shot. Like, I mean,
That's really
yeah,
encouraging.
he has. I mean, I get it that Paul George is just a better player than Melo is at this
Yeah.
point, and I'm not, but his value, especially whenever he's out there with that second unit, is just being more vocal, and that's something that Paul George is not really going to be able to to compete
It's
with.
not his
'Cause that's
leadership
not
style.
right.
Yeah, that's not his thing at all.
Right.
It's just Kawhi silent, like, basically. But I don't think, like, PG being the main guy offensively is going to diminish that thing from Melo at all.
But I think that, I mean that should be Melo's role, right? He's been there. It's
exactly.
15th year in the league, so he should be helping these young guys out. He needs to be doing that.
Yeah.
I think everyone's issue with Melo is the shot selection. That's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And what Brandon just said, I think is a good point, is Melo's been in the league so long that reducing his role will also help save his longevity throughout this season.
That's a good point.
Especially because Melo, when's the last time Melo was in the playoffs? He's not used to these long seasons. So reducing his role, number one, helps that longevity. Yeah, exactly. And then number two, I think this also is just, it's taking them a while to really hammer these things out. And Melo has been used to being the guy and the ISO, mid-range, post-up, turnaround, jump shot guy.
Yeah.
That you don't just flip the switch on day one and, okay, this is what I'm going to do now,
That's
and
true.
I think we're slowly seeing him take those steps to becoming more of that catch-and-shoot guy and less of that isolation guy. And I think as the season goes on, that trend will continue. Now, is Melo still going to isolate? Yeah, there's still going to be times that he
that's what
isolates.
he does.
And it's
But
also good when he does it most of the time.
Yeah, the idea is you want to wean that off. You can't just go cold turkey with it. They're slowly weaning him off of it and getting him to the point where he's more catch and shoot. I think in the Clippers game, he had like 7 catch and shoot threes. That's exactly what you want from Carmelo.
Sure.
Because
That's Olympic Melo.
Yeah, that's deadly.
Yeah. The thing with him is I don't mind him isolating. I only mind him when he isolates, there's nothing there, and then he re-isolates.
Yeah.
Right.
I know you don't need to do that.
Well, sometimes he's just like lazy with what he does with the ball. Like he'll have a lane to the hoop, and he
he'll
just
jump shoot
instead
it
goes,
anyways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up.
He kind of takes that, Russ has the same, he falls into the same trap too sometimes where it's like they almost just want to beat their guy one-on-one.
Right. They also know that they can.
You're right. And so, but it's like,
It's probably hard
is
to
this
not do
the
that
best
if you know
shot
that.
right now for the team?
Exactly.
And if you're trying to play for, it's funny because now you have to say, if you're trying to play to get to the Western Conference Finals because stupid ass Golden State.
Yeah.
But if you are, you got to play like that,
And we talked about Melo with the catch and shoot. I mean, he's so much of a better shooter during those situations than he is whenever he does, have to isolate and shoot over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting 40% from 3 on those catch and shoot attempts. So I mean, it's just, I don't know.
That's a good number.
I mean,
it could go up too.
Oh yeah, that would be. I think you'd take that. But the problem is that you have during those minutes with that second unit. I mean, you need somebody like Paul George. I think you're gonna have to see those two play with the second unit more.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Ramon Felton's not really going to be creating those attempts for.
You don't want Felton taking 8 or 9 shots a game. You just don't.
And I'll go on record right now. They've started putting PG with that bench unit more, and I like that infinitely times better than I like Melo with the bench.
Yeah, I mean the bench.
I think that makes the defense better. I think the offense flows better. It's not so much. I mean, yes, Melo can get the ball on the second unit isolation, turn and cook somebody, but just the organic ball movement that was with PG out there, where it touches more hands and it swings around the court more, and I think that'll also help to get Abrinas more shots, which I think this team really, really, really needs to do.
They have to. I mean, they have to figure out how to get. You saw what happened in the Clippers game. When you get the guy more shots, he's capable of knocking them down. Even when he took a bad one in the Clippers game, they had a 4-on-2 break, and Abrinas is terrible in the fast break. He's terrible unless you can find him behind the 3, which they did. They've had 4-on-2. And he pulls up for 3, and I was like, no, what are you doing? This is a terrible shot. No one's there to rebound. Knocks it down. I was like, that's how good of a shooter he is.
He's an insane shooter, and I feel like they're not looking for him. They're not getting him sets. And I think the way you get him the ball in those situations is, and we saw it a little bit more in this Dallas game, is the drive and kick. We saw Huestis drive and kick to PG. We saw PG drive and kick to Huestis. Now, I want them to drive and kick more to Abrinas. Huestis took 7 threes last night.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Made some of them though.
Yeah, I mean he was 3 of 7, but I
looked
would
good
much
early.
rather see Abrinas get 7 3-point attempts.
Sure.
I completely agree.
Yeah, that is interesting. And that you brought up drive and kick, and that's something that seems lacking. I tweeted it last night. I think they're not lacking a lot of drive and kicks. When you see really good offenses operate, you see, a pass to the perimeter, and you see them attack a lane. If the lane gets closed off, they kick it out, rinse and repeat.
And they do it again.
Yeah, and that's
And if you have multiple penetrating kicks, then you're gonna always find somebody wide open.
you create lanes that way. So what went on in that players only meeting? You think it was a whole, we need you to be more aggressive, Paul George. We need you, Melo, your role. We need you to score when we need you to score. We don't need you to just go, be that scorer. We're gonna go to you every possession.
Right.
Just because when the playoffs come, man, Melo, his capabilities being an ISO player are going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
going to be
that's-
extremely helpful.
That's a bad habit to build throughout the season if you're just relying on that. So
So are we theorizing about what happened in this player only meeting?
Well, let's talk about it for real, and then we'll get to the little game that we have planned.
Okay.
But yeah,
so I've also heard there was it was either NBA TV or someone that was saying that it was players and coaches. So I've heard multiple reports.
see the
about
first
it, so
report I thought it was players and coaches, and then I saw a report that said players only.
I've seen
I
both.
think it was just everybody locked their doors and sat down and had to come to Jesus.
That's
talk.
kind of
And
what
Billy
I feel
was
like
in the
it really-
bathroom. Billy was like, "Shit."
Guys, what if
They locked me out.
I was gonna say though, if it is players only, is that? I mean, what's that?
Concerning.
mean? Yeah, is that
It's- I
concerning
think-
for Billy?
Well, I would.
We talked about it, right?
Yeah, we did, and so I think it is a little bit concerning because what does that say about your trust or your faith in Billy Donovan? But I don't think it's that concerning. If Billy wasn't in there, I do kind of think there's more accountability whenever you just have the players in there, where you just call each other out a
Yeah.
little bit
Right.
and sort of
Well,
talk about it.
When
That
like
way.
Paul George had come up and said something like it wasn't anything negative. It was just us kind of clearing the air and getting everything out on the table.
Yeah,
and I really think that's what it was. Like
Sitting down, having
I
a
think
heart
he's
to
being
heart.
very honest.
Paul,
about that.
I think Paul George said something like he asked the other two guys, Russ and Melo, like, "What do you need from me? What can I do to make this work?"
They were like,
And
"Be
they-
better."
Well, basically,
stop making us lose.
they
How about
said
that?
we need you to be Paul George, be the superstar that you are, and be aggressive. And by God, we saw him be aggressive. Are you about to stab me with that? Jesus
No.
Christ!
No, you're right. Since the players only, meaning what's he averaging, like 39 a game?
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
killing it.
Come on, like is that how this team is going to be the most successful though, with Paul George as the leading scorer? Is that
Dude,
the answer?
with how efficient he is,
Yeah.
I don't see how that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
So
it
pretty,
seems
man.
like
when
the move.
he's taking a career high in threes per game this year. I don't know the exact number, but he's making it at a career high rate, as you said earlier, Jacob.
7.9.
7.9 a game, and that is taking into account
And
his
he
game
should-
versus Indiana. We're 12 games in
Where
the
he
season,
was
13 games in the
god-awful.
season, right? Where he played 12 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
Mostly
Yep.
just fouls.
And he's shooting a career best. And again, small sample size. We're only 13 games in.
But it's not really a small sample size for him when he takes as many as he does. That's what's cool about
that's
it.
true.
Yep. But he's averaging almost 8 3-point attempts a game, and he's shooting almost 42% from three.
That's pretty
impressive.
good. I like that.
47% from the field last week, 47% from three last week. I will take that.
Hell yes.
Averaging 26 a game over the week.
This has just become a
3 steals a game.
love Paul
4
George
assists.
pod.
4 assists, 7.8 rebounds. Oh, dude, I love
But
him.
he's so good.
How can you not love him?
I don't really have an
Hear him
answer to that.
talk, everything he says, the way he plays, so smooth, pretty to watch. All right, let's do this little
He's
game
very
here.
pretty.
Can you give us some? Can you give us some?
Maybe.
Yeah, a little music. Little.
Maybe.
Let's do.
That's
That's
not
not
it.
the right one. Okay.
We'll deal with it.
Yeah,
I
this
guess.
works.
No, let's go human music.
Yeah, there
There
you
it
go.
is.
All right, so what we're gonna do? Let's go around the table here. Let's just kind of speculate what actually went on in this players only meeting. They had to do something weird to build. They won 2 in a row since. They had to do something that set some
So
sparks flying.
I'm gonna say that it was coaches and players,
Okay.
and that everyone just had a Kyle Singler roast.
Oh,
They all
God
just
damn
like
it.
brought them together.
digged on him like the whole time, really hard.
Mine says they shit on Kyle Singler for 45 minutes because why not?
Yeah, that's basically
So,
the same.
I guess great minds
Good.
think alike.
Yeah,
That's actually what happened. If you guys both think that,
and I mean they could have even put some oranges in a sock and just beat the shit out of
Oh,
him for
wow.
a bit.
Yeah, just
taking it a
bar
little too
soup.
far.
Full Metal Jacket.
They went
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket on his
Yeah.
ass. No, actually, what they did back there was on the plane ride to Denver, They all almost finished Stranger Things, and that's why they played so shitty. They had that on their mind.
Oh.
So in the locker room, they watched the season finale of Stranger Things season 2.
Nice.
See, I had something similar that I said I think they watched an episode of Stranger Things together, saw how those kids worked together, and were inspired. They said, we need to do that.
I had them watching something too, but it was not Stranger Things.
Hopefully
Okay.
not porn.
They watched Hoosiers. to
Ah!
sort
Good,
of,
good,
they
there
got
you
a-
go.
Do you think it made Paul George like worry about like, did I make a mistake leaving Indiana?
Well, I think what happened is Paul George, while he was with Indiana, probably Larry Bird showed that on a loop, probably.
Pre-game movie.
It was
Yeah.
on the
And so he was
Jumbotron
like,
at practice.
this could work, and so then he showed it to the team.
I just said
I
they have a
confession.
Jumbotron at
I've never,
practice.
I've never seen Hoosiers.
What?
all the way through. No.
Pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you like
it.
it?
I
That
like
did
it.
sound just like that.
I like it.
What do you got, Jason? Nothing more?
That was
Oh.
mostly my one.
Okay, I have one. They threw Katie burner account tweets on a overhead projector screen, and they just all laughed together.
I like that.
I have that. So this came also after that Sacramento loss. That was just god awful. They sat around debating if they wanted to report to the league that Zebo tried to sell them weed pregame, get them another felony charge, and get them kicked out because they were so pissed off.
Just for two games ago, they're like, fuck that guy.
I think they had a thumb wrestling tournament, and the winner got to be the star for the next couple games. So Paul George
PG
won.
is a badass.
Paul
at
George
thumb
won.
I bet that
wrestling.
motherfucker's
Really
got
long
long
thumbs, yeah. I had that they just
Girthy.
They just sat in
Thick sons of
silence.
bitches.
They just sat in
Ooh.
silence, looking at each other.
Meditation or anything?
Yeah, they were just sitting there in
Like
silence.
eye contact, kind
yeah,
of?
just looking around the room, and then they just got up and they understood.
Oh,
it was
shit,
time.
dude, that's my favorite thing.
It was
It's like a
time.
good
That's my
bonding
favorite
experience.
one.
I think Roberson yelled at Russ about his free throws.
Oh no! Oh
Oh,
man,
that's pretty good.
Anybody got any more?
That's it.
That's all.
That's
I got one more.
One more.
Maybe they just had some insults against Billy Donovan that they had to get off their chest.
Ooh, they just talked shit about the coach
Yeah.
while he wasn't
Bonding moment.
Yeah.
there. Or while he was there.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's
He's
even
like,
worse.
he's just sitting like, hey guys, still just
yeah,
sitting
Yeah,
here.
they were like, players only meeting, guys. And he's just in the corner. He's like, dude, the fuck?
What's up with that hairline, Billy? Now that you're here, we'll just say it straight to your face. All right, what about we talked a little bit about Josh Huestis, and I do want to ask you guys, how much should he be playing? Because when he plays, he has his moments. It's like, this guy needs to be playing.
He's
He
pretty
can
alright.
shoot that damn thing.
He can, man, and I
They can shoot that goddamn thing.
every
boy.
every single field goal attempt of him last week was a 3. So he
Yeah.
is the 3. He's 3 and D. That is what he's doing.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't
For
mind
it.
it. I
I
don't
liked
mind.
his drive and kick to Paul George. I mentioned that earlier. I thought he saw a little bit of everyone on Sunday night as well. Guarded everyone from Dennis Smith Jr., Yogi Ferrell, all the way up to Dirk Nowitzki. So
The thing I like about him, man, he plays with confidence. He's a confident player. He has confidence in himself, and like you've said so many times on the podcast, Jacob, his shot is nice and compact. He's, I don't know, there's not much
it looks
air.
good.
But the key to what you said is how much should he be playing?
Yes,
So what do you have there? How much should he be playing?
I think he should be playing.
More?
I think what we've seen,
I'm kind
against
of cool
Dallas.
with his time against Dallas seemed nice.
How many minutes did
What
he
do you-
have against Dallas?
That's a good
I feel like it was a
question.
lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I have
Maybe
it
a little
somewhere in
too
here.
much.
It's probably over 12.
It
We
was
have too many papers.
22 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
he's
too
not
many
getting
minutes.
that many.
That's too many.
I say take it down to 16.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
dang.
where I'm at.
See, I was thinking
16.
more like 12.
So
I'm about 16. I think he should.
well, whenever Melo's playing, so who do those minutes come from?
That's the problem. They're going to come from Roberson, and they're going to come from
Paul George.
Melo.
Oh,
See?
See, I thought you were gonna say Jeremy Grant, which I'm
Yeah, and
not.
Paul George though.
Paul
If he's
George has
having-
been playing 41, 42
Right,
minutes
yeah.
a game. You can bring that
I'm
back.
not into cutting Grants.
No,
at all.
okay. I just
No.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
He's been
Grant's
incredible.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so
that
you-
block he had on Dennis Smith Jr. last night. Woo!
And his and one?
But the thing is, if you
Oh,
take
yeah.
if you take
Very
4
nice.
minutes away from Paul George and you give him to Huestis, your team gets worse, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, but at the same time,
But I
maybe it
would
gets
think-
better in the long run because
Yeah.
you are preserving.
But
Paul
I would
George a
think
little
they're
bit.
going to get Paul George's minutes down a little bit, down to like 36.
You know they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Billy
that
likes
has
to
be a
not
goal.
play his guys a whole lot of minutes.
Yeah,
So I think they're going to pull Paul's minutes down a bit.
you would think so. That's what's weird though. I mean, he's easily leading.
From YouTube Live, Kickin' Kevin Motto says play him. I think he's talking about Huestis here. He says loved him on the Blue last season, him and Dakari.
Yeah,
So
he's
thanks
a,
for
that
the
guy's
input,
a Blue
man.
fan.
Yeah.
He only watches
Hey,
the Blue.
and shout out to Dakari Johnson for
Yeah,
really.
Dakari has
I
been
thought
killing
he
it.
was going to get completely shit on by DeAndre Jordan, and he stepped up and he played really well. He had more points than DeAndre.
Yeah.
I think that's impressive.
Yeah.
And he
I like
hit a
it.
mid-range jumper.
So let's talk about Dakari. Does he get rotation minutes when Adams is back?
I have a hard time seeing that. I think occasional spot minutes.
Like
but-
matchup wise, like if some team has a big backup center.
Exactly. But, there's...
Or if Adams getting some
The
foul
thing
trouble.
is, he got in there, and there's no scouting
point.
report for him. Nobody knows what to expect from him, so you can't prepare for him. And he does well. Now, once he plays a few more games and teams start noticing his strengths and weaknesses, same thing happened with Cameron Payne. When Cameron Payne first started getting minutes for the Thunder, he played great. And then people got a scouting report on him, and then he didn't do anything else. And I think that'll be the same with Dakari.
I think they only need Dakari, even when he does play, is to just give him do the dirty work.
Yeah. Just
Set
needs
some
to be a big
screens,
body
grab some rebounds.
that isn't terrible.
Thunder
And
are
he
one of the
was-
best screen setting teams in the league if you look at the stats as far as screen assists go. And a lot of that is, running Paul George off of screens. And Adams is such a good screen setter. But one thing you don't see with this bench is a screen setter. Maybe Patrick Patterson. He's a solid screen setter.
Patrick Patterson slips every screen he's ever set in his life and pops out to three.
Yeah. But if you do, if you have a front court of Patrick Patterson and Dakari Johnson, that's a pretty slow front court.
Yeah.
So you might get yourself in some trouble there. And I think that is the Thunder you're seeing this year. They're trying to attack that. They're trying to create a mismatch going small from the bench.
Yep. Well, hell, last night they had a lineup at the front court of Jeremy Grant and Josh Huestis.
Yeah.
I mean, their center is 6'9", their power forward's 6'8".
It's pretty fun though.
Yeah.
It's just fun to
just play 5 out.
try those things.
The last person I had to talk about was Patrick Patterson. We talked a little bit about him. I mean, I think it's really weird whenever Adams is out, and then you have Dakari starting that game, and then Patrick Patterson only managed, I think, 11 minutes
Isn't this strange?
in that game against the Clippers. Like
It's starting to get strange for me.
It is. It's really weird, and he's over this 4-game stretch. He's only averaging 16.2 minutes. When you factor in the 11 that he had against the Clippers, I don't know what he had against the Mavericks, but I don't know. It's really weird. Somebody that I
didn't play a ton,
had
I don't
high
think.
hopes.
He played 25 against the Mavs.
I thought he played really, really well against the
Yeah,
Mavs.
he did.
He did a good job.
He scored 7, 4 rebounds. He was a plus 13 on the game.
So it's just weird to me that it's so like sporadic. I thought he would be one of the guys that you would pencil him in. I thought where he finished this week at 16.2, that seemed like a good number to me.
Yeah.
Like throughout the year, as long as everybody's healthy. But it's just weird how he's getting to that mark.
It is weird,
Yeah.
and maybe he is still trying to just get in shape a little bit, kind of figure it out. Maybe,
And,
but
it could be Billy's still trying to figure out how the pieces work with him.
It's true.
Like around, because he wasn't expecting to have Melo and all that stuff. So like kind of trying to fit that all together might be kind of challenging.
I said before after the Thunder traded for Melo, so before the season started, that the bench and how good it was going to be depended on how reliable Patrick Patterson was.
And it hasn't been at all, really.
But the bench has been okay. I mean, has the bench been okay?
They've seemed pretty decent.
Not recently.
They've struggled a little bit recently.
So here's some numbers.
especially defensively.
Across the
they
NBA
struggle.
for the whole season, the bench is 24th in minutes per game. So the Thunder are using their bench, among the least of of anybody. 28th in points per game. So in those minutes, they're the third worst scoring bench in the league, which has a lot to do with Melo playing with the bench, Paul George playing with the bench. They're 20th in field goal percentage, 18th in 3-point percentage, and 29th in rebound percentage. Like those numbers
I
tell
wonder
you.
what those numbers would say prior to this week.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, this was a really bad week for the Thunder.
I'm sure they dropped a little bit, but you wouldn't imagine they would drop 20 spots each or anything.
No, not 20 spots. But, I mean, I would think. I mean, I don't know how high they would have been, but to think that they would at least be, I would have predicted without the numbers. I would have predicted they were at least in the 10 to 15. Like they wouldn't have been the lower end of the league. I wouldn't have thought.
It's a
Probably in
little skewed, too,
rebound
with
percentage.
Grant moving off the bench.
That's true. That does. I don't know how much that would have affected it, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not sure if it's a huge.
I mean,
amount,
everything's
but-
going to affect it, and this is stuff that every team has to deal with, though.
Yeah.
So it all evens out for the most part.
Yeah.
But it is
Well,
kind
we
of.
won 2 games.
You're right.
It's positive. So
That's
bench being bad is good because we win.
bad bench, good starters.
Pat,
Good.
Words. It's hard.
You guys
want to try to play this game here?
Let's do it.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
All right. Woo! This is our most versatile game. There's no real way to play this game.
It can be everything you
so
want
today,
it to be.
it's going to be a two-parter. Okay, the
Ooh.
first part's going to be just hypotheticals, and you guys are going to give me a guy that fits that hypothetical. The second part's just trivia.
Oh, I'll
Okay.
give you a guy.
All right.
I got a
First part, hypothetical. The entire team is healthy, and Billy Donovan wants to tweak the starting lineup. He chooses to send one guy to the bench.
guy. Andre Roberson.
Who's that guy?
Andre Roberson.
Yeah.
Roberson.
Is it?
Gotta be.
Sadly, have to say it.
I was wondering. I mean, obviously, I think there's only two choices here, right?
Andre
Yeah.
or Steven Adams, right? No, I'm just kidding.
So who's that guy? It's Andre Roberson. Who's the guy that replaces him? If in this hypothetical.
Abrinas.
Yeah.
I know some people would say Grant,
Jeremy.
but I don't think you can slide Grant in at the 2.
Yeah,
I don't
that'd
think
be
you want to
weird.
slide everybody down.
Unless you
and I
put
think
PG
Abrinas
at the 2.
would be so good with those starters creating space, and
I think
you
in
can
that
cover up his
situation,
defensive deficiencies with Paul George.
if you
and
put
Steven
Grant
Adams.
in there, you would slide Paul George
PG
to
to
the
the
2.
2, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which
I also
could happen.
Yeah, and we talked about this even whenever Robertson was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
This was sort of something that we had talked about, and I thought that at the time, I didn't want to mess with the bench that much, so I thought either Josh Huestis or Terrence Ferguson, whoever Billy wanted to give those minutes to as the 10th man, should have, or the 11th, however many they were playing. Like he should, that would have been who would have started, I thought, because you take it from the back, and either one of those guys, they were more of a threat. Jacob keeps elbowing me. I just want this on record. Jacob, no, but I thought that whoever you're going to bring out there would have been more of a threat to shoot the ball between Ferguson or Huestis over Robertson, and then he
You're
wasn't
flustered from the elbows.
He keeps elbowing me, and he wasn't playing great defense. And I thought either of those guys could have been just as active, and so that I think I would still stick with that. Like if you're going to give Huestis minutes, and you do eventually take somebody out of the starting lineup, I would rather leave the bench alone and go with like Huestis there, somebody like Ferguson.
I think, I think Robertson, I still think the fit there in that starting lineup is a little weird right now. But I will say, to Jason's point, he's looking more like himself lately.
Yeah.
Last week, he averaged 6.5 rebounds a game. That's huge.
Yeah.
Thunder need that from Robertson.
Yep.
He needs to rebound the
He
ball.
had like 11 rebounds against the Clippers.
He
Yeah.
had 5 assists in that Denver game, which is weird.
1.3 steals over the week and 1.3 blocks over
But
the week.
against the better teams, so against the Warriors, against the Rockets,
That's the worry.
But I think that's where you would see Robertson have more of effect on the
That's
game.
where you hope
rather
to.
than-
But it could go either way, too.
It could.
That's the worry.
But I would expect whenever you have better scorers that, because whenever if Paul George is playing great like he is, like I agree with you, Robertson becomes a little bit more expendable at that point. But if you have other really good scorers on the other team where you need defense is going to need to step up, I think Robertson is going to prove like really important later on in the playoffs.
I still watch Robertson play defense all the time, and
Dude,
I'm
it's
like,
so exciting.
Yeah, it's incredible.
so good. Like, he never fouls. I don't know how. He just uses his body so well. All right, number 2. Most expect both Dakari Johnson and Terrence Ferguson to spend a certain amount of time in the G League at certain points this season, but which plays more games with the Blue? Who's that guy?
Ferguson.
Dakari.
Oh, really?
Let's start with
I'm-
Jacob.
Why?
Yeah, why?
He's younger,
Yeah.
fresh in the league.
You think they don't need him as much on the NBA roster
Yeah,
as a
and
reserve?
I think they're okay with Dakari riding the bench and just getting that experience in the NBA. Whereas Ferguson, they probably want to get him as much playing time as they can, whether that be G League or the big leagues. And he's not going to get very many minutes up in the big league with the Thunder. So they're going to want to get him as much experience as
Big
possible as a young guy.
What
So-
about for Dakari, Rob?
I just look at it. I sort of see it the exact opposite. I think that you probably think that, or the Thunder probably would view
Jason,
Ferguson.
you're going to pick a winner here, by the way.
I know.
would be Ferguson. I think he's there's more value there going forward, and I don't think as long as Steven Adams is healthy, I just don't think Dakari plays.
Well, I was actually going to go Ferguson because
You're wrong too.
you're wrong.
You're wrong.
It's a wrong opinion.
But I was just going to say that because he hasn't really been playing. So
Yeah.
Well, Dakari didn't play.
well,
I
but he's
mean-
getting all these minutes now, and he's
Yeah,
a hot shot.
Yeah. Now
He's
he's
the
really
starter.
good.
Now he's
You see him?
starting.
He's
So
the
he's,
starter. So I mean,
I will tell you,
clearly
Dakari's
you're
recent
wrong.
minutes have completely killed his per 36 that we had
Yeah.
referenced on an earlier pod.
And his PER and everything.
Yeah.
Yep. He's still shooting like 87% from the field or something.
Yeah, but I doubt
ridiculous.
he's averaging like 30 assists per 36
Yeah.
now.
It's a shame.
he's down to 71.4.
This is the first pod.
So he's a piece of crap.
This is the first pod you haven't mentioned anything about his shitty ability to jump.
Oh, he still can't jump, but at least he moved his feet this time.
I had to bring it up.
All right, next one. The Thunder have started the season slow, and Presti's phone is blowing up with trade offers around the league. The question is, which player is the center of the majority of these trade calls? Who's that guy?
I'm not going to say Roberson.
Well, you got to think, these are people calling Presti, and they're bringing up a player, not Presti bringing up a player.
Yeah, I don't
These
think
are
there's a lot of
opposing
people
teams.
calling saying, "Hey, we need Andre
Yeah,
Roberson."
we need
So
Melo.
Paul George.
No one's saying that.
You guys, people are calling saying you guys are playing awful. Paul's going to leave in the off season. Get something for him now. Trade him to us. And then the second one, very close second, is Steven Adams. You need to shed salary. Steven's got a big contract.
I think, a lot of teams could use a guy like Steven Adams too. I mean,
Those are my two.
Yeah, I think obviously more
PG.
people are going to call about Paul George.
Yeah.
But
or are people going to be like, why am I doing? We don't have anything. They're
We don't
not
have
gonna do
fish
this.
here.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I just think hypothetically, if people are calling, it's like, I wonder what they're going to lose him. I wonder what they would give for,
Yeah.
But I don't see a lot of value. I don't think a lot of people are calling to see, hey, what's it going to take to get Andre away from you?
No one's-
And so I think it just by default it has to be.
What about role players? Like, what if we divide this up into categories here? So what
Try to
what
get
role
a-
player is everyone? Abrinas?
Abrinas not
They're
good. That's what I was
calling
gonna
for
say.
Abrinas and Grant for sure.
I think it's Grant the way Grant's been
Yeah.
playing.
he's
that might be.
incredible.
So versatile. That's such a big thing in today's league. All
But
right,
they could
last
just wait and not have to give up anything.
hypothetical. A player or coach shows up late to practice, extremely hungover and smelling like booze. Who's that guy?
Patty Pat.
Ooh.
Ramon Felton.
Hold on, I want to hear the explanation from.
There was that video someone sent us when we were doing the party things where Patty was like just going to town.
Patty was pounding?
in like a party bus. Patty Pat's party bus. That's what it was
We
called.
started a business.
Oh,
we
he
should start a
Patty
business.
Pat's party bus.
Give us a call, Pat. I know you're listening.
We started without him, and then he
Yeah,
just
we
like,
bring
yeah,
him
that's
in. He's like,
successful.
I like it.
Plus, like, he's been in the league a while. Maybe,
Well, and
he drinks a little too much wine.
he's
one
kind of
night.
down on himself right now, maybe because he's not sure where he fits.
So you're
in.
saying he's drinking out of depression?
Oh yeah, that's the only way to drink.
I don't know. I think that's the most unhealthy way.
That's
to
how
do
I
it.
do it. So yeah.
Well, now you guys know why we call him the Dark and Stormy Jason Lewis. All right, and you say, Jacob, who'd you say?
I said Raymond Felton, but I think I'm going to change it to Kyle Singler just because
Oh,
if I was
God.
that
The
fucking
depression-
awful at
Drinking
life,
out of depression.
if I
Drinking
was
is
that
making
fucking
a
awful
comeback.
at life, I'd drink all the time too.
God damn, that was.
You got one
cold-blooded.
for this, Rob?
I'm going Carmelo.
Yeah, I think I'd go
Yeah.
Carmelo too.
Yeah, and
He's at
He's earned
double
it.
D's, just killing it.
he's that Cowboys just two-stepping and throwing back
He
Bud
got
Light.
on, that's why his back sore. He got on a bull.
But the thing is, Carmelo, if he's
One of the
doing
ladies
that,
there?
he's drinking too much like some super expensive booze. He's like top shelf in that. He's so fabulous like that. He's drinking.
Fab Melo.
Fabulous.
Ooh, Fab Melo, player out of the league. All right, now the trivia portion of this game.
Uh-oh. Time to lose.
I don't know how we're gonna do this. Maybe we'll just, whoever buzzes in.
Bus.
Not counting two-way players, this Thunder player has played the least amount of minutes of anyone on the team this season. Who's that guy?
Oh, I got it. Nick Carlson.
Wrong.
Fuck.
What was I didn't even hear the question.
Not counting what?
Not counting two-way players, this Thunder player has played the least amount of minutes of anyone on the team this season. Who's that guy?
I know who it is now.
Go ahead.
Can I
I'm
answer a
out.
second
Rob, are
time?
you still not understanding the question?
I don't
Not
think-
counting two-way players.
Yeah.
As in-
Yes.
Who
Meaning
has
the-
played the least amount of minutes?
Yeah, so
Yes.
How is it not Nick? He hasn't even played.
It
I know
seems
who
like
it
it
is
would be
now.
Nick.
But I guess we'll go.
Everyone's screaming at you guys right now.
Who
Probably.
hasn't played?
I know who it is.
Just say it.
I think. Is it Kyle Singler?
It's Kyle Singler.
Oh,
Kyle
Was it
Singler's
someone-
played 2 minutes. Nick Colson's played 5.
Oh,
What
I
an
didn't even
idiot.
notice Nick had played.
It had to be in Nick's game, Pacers game,
Oh,
Yeah, I think it was the Knicks game.
Bulls
it probably
game.
was.
Nick played against the Knicks.
Ah, you have to play him against the
I'm a
Knicks.
dumbass. Sorry, y'all.
All right, it's 0-0-0. All right, 3 Thunder players have logged double digits in both steals and blocks this season. We're talking totals. 3 Thunder players have logged double digits in both steals and blocks this season. Who are those guys?
So
gotta-
wait, I'm confused on the question.
I'm
So
gonna.
three guys both have
Blinking white guy.
blinking one. So there's three
It's Paul
guys.
George and Jeremy Grant, right?
No.
What?
Three Thunder players
Josh
have
Huestis.
logged double digits in both steals and blocks this
Okay.
season.
Yeah, I got the answer.
Who are those
right.
guys? No. There's 3 of them, and you
Andre
said
Roberson.
2
Andre
people,
Roberson.
and one
I
of
thought
them
you
was
said
wrong.
only name
George.
2.
Paul George.
Nope. And nope.
Oh, Steven Adams, Andre Roberson.
Nope.
What?
You got Adams though. Adams is
So
down.
it's Adams, Grant, and
This has just become us all.
Don't be- don't
Russell
cheat.
Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook.
No.
Fuck.
This has just become us.
The third one's
guessing
a
as it
surprise. It's a surprise.
goes. Kyle Singler.
No.
Patrick Patterson.
Nope.
How?
We're just gonna go down the fucking roster, aren't we?
Come on, guys. You got this.
I got nothing on this.
Alex Abrinas.
No.
That was never.
Mello?
Melo.
Wow.
Winner.
Adams has 17 steals and 14 blocks. Grant has 12 steals, 13 blocks. Melo has 10 steals and 12 blocks. So Melo, one of the best
Killing
defenders
it.
on the team.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Thank
guys suck.
God, are we still at zeros?
Yes.
This is the last one. This Thunder player is averaging a career high in both field goal percentage and three-point percentage. However, he's also averaging a career low in field goal attempts and three-point attempts. Who's
Alex
that guy?
Abrinas.
Nailed it.
Good job.
Stole your answer.
Jeremy Grant. Did I get it?
A little delayed
How's
there,
this game
bud.
work?
Good guess,
right.
though.
All right.
Good game. You guys are bad at trivia.
I win.
Yeah.
Does that mean I
I
win?
didn't understand most of the questions.
That goes back to the Abrinas thing, the Abrinas talk we were doing, you know? Like, he's got
shooting
he's,
good. He
He's
needs
got
more
it up there
attempts.
now, yeah.
No, that's correct.
But it showed how little he had to do to get it up. Because to get his percentage up,
Crazy.
because he just
Awfully
hadn't
nice. had
he hadn't had that many opportunities
He
leading up
doesn't
to
really
there.
have to try hard to get it up. It's not very difficult.
It just pops on up.
Guess
on
I
its
just
own.
won't make my point.
Yeah.
You want to take some Twitter questions?
I do.
Let's do it.
Are you guys ever looking at the camera?
No.
I've made contact with the camera multiple times.
Contact?
Yeah, eye
Hey,
contact.
did anyone ever guess our Twitter background music the other day? Whenever we did the new music?
Nope, they didn't.
Should we reveal it or not?
Yeah, it was Star Fox.
Oh.
Somebody
That was a
guessed it.
while ago, though.
Somebody
Wow.
guessed. I saw a couple.
We should
Yeah,
get
they got
some
it
more
wrong
like
now.
old video game sounders for the back of the.
Well, like
the
this
Twitter.
one?
Yeah, but different ones.
Zelda.
Zelda.
Let's do it.
Who's not named Zelda? The
Yeah.
guy, you know.
Yeah.
Read it to me.
Okay. Here we go. Danielle Spiller. Hypothetical. But how much improvement could the Thunder see in the first and second unit if Melo came off the bench? Jeremy Grant would get to start alongside Russ, Adams, PG, and Robertson.
Obviously, the bench probably improved a little bit because you put Melo on it, but that's not a good idea.
He's already on the bench. I mean, he's playing with.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's basically on the bench.
I don't understand why you have to bring him off of.
Yeah.
Why he doesn't have to start.
That would
to-
just piss him off, and he'd.
Yeah,
That doesn't
I
make
think that's
sense.
more what it's about, right? It's more
Yeah,
about
it's-
morale.
Hey, P, they say I gotta come off the bench.
Yeah, for whatever reason, like there's, and it shouldn't be that way. I guess he's been such a star player though that in his career that starting is something like if you don't start, it's like a
Yeah.
gut shot or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I said in last pod or the pod before, where he would have to go and say, "Hey, bring me off the bench." That's the only way that's happened.
Yeah,
Toot-
you're right.
tooting your own
Oh.
horn there, huh?
Yeah, I'm a fucking genius.
Toot
So,
toot.
Well, I went a little far, but Zach Prince says, "What do you think about PG-13's comments about hoping for a summer here to be able to do some fishing? Good news, or are we looking too far into this?" We're absolutely not looking too far into this, and he's staying forever.
I say both. Great news, and we're looking too far into this, right?
That's probably the correct answer.
Yeah.
No, I
I
don't.
agree.
He's staying forever. I'm convinced.
Definitely staying.
I mean, the things that he's saying, and he's not even being baited into saying them. It's
Right.
nice. It's nice to hear. You know,
It's nice
Now, if
until
he turns around and
bails.
stabs our back,
Yeah.
God help me.
I think it is
I
important
will
though.
cut that man's neck.
It is important for him and the success of the team for him to have an overall kind of just perspective on like in the future, not just limit it to this year because then you leave people on the edge of their seat worrying the whole time, and if you just kind of talk about
But
everything,
another thing about that though is he doesn't have to say these
sure,
things.
that's what I mean.
Like it's
He's
really
choosing
cool
to.
that he's just yeah.
I just realized
Yeah.
the camera was just staring at your face for a minute there.
Hello.
Anyways, other one.
right,
Ryan
hello.
Combs says, "Can Raymond Felton dunk?" And the
No,
ans-
no
the answer
chance.
is actually yes, he can. I looked it up earlier, and there's one video on YouTube.
What year?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
it
think
looks
it means
very old.
current.
Yeah.
Currently, absolutely not.
Yeah, I
he's
doubt
far
it.
too heavy.
What is he? 6'2", 6'1"?
I think he's like 6'1".
He's a lot better around the rim though than I thought he would be,
Right.
like finishing with layups.
He's
Surprising
he's
how good he
crafty.
is.
It's because he's so wide that he can create separation, and he can
He
get
has
a shot.
he has a large.
I know how he feels.
Sphere of-
Wide-bodied people.
Did you say
Yeah.
wide body or white body?
Both.
Wide body.
Oh, whatever.
Whichever you want. All right. John says, just John. With Melo, Russ, and Alex all having 3-point celebrations. Melo's 3 to the dome. Russ's 3 pats on the head.
Yeah, I like how
and
you're doing that.
Alex's beard rub.
Oh,
What would
it's the
Paul
best.
George's 3-point celebration be if he were to make one?
It's got to be unique. You know, you
It's
can't just
just
do
this-
something someone else is doing.
Just a straight face.
Yeah.
Well, he does
Wait.
that anyways.
He could just pull the 3 off his jersey.
Ooh.
That could
Something
be
like
kind of
that.
cool.
You know?
What's your guys' favorite 3-point celebration, like league wide?
I've
I
always
really
liked
like Melos.
Yeah.
I really
always
like
liked
Melos.
Melos.
Except I feel like that hurts, man.
That's
why
Like,
I like
if
it.
he gets it in the temple.
Just
Oh, man,
blasts
I had-
himself out one game.
I had such a close-up view of him draining a 3 and then doing like his sweat.
Didn't you say it got in Chelsea's
Yeah,
cap?
it actually sweat. He was so close to the baseline or the sideline there where I was sitting that like his sweat actually went into her cup.
Have
Wow,
you
I'd
noticed
still
how
drink
much
it.
he's talked about him sitting down
It
there?
was really cool.
Hey, I would too.
I would.
I really
too.
like Wes Matthews where he pulls out the arrow and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
fires it.
That's one of
That's
my
pretty
favorites.
good.
That one's pretty cool.
That is
I
good.
like the Rust whenever he would throw it
The-
down
the
on the
yeah.
holster.
guns and throw 'em in
Yeah.
the holster.
One thing I respect about Russ, though, is he keeps it fresh. So, you know, he retired
I
and
like-
he said, I'm doing something
I like that
new.
he
Now
did.
he just beats the shit out of his head.
Yeah.
Gonna
So we
concuss
didn't.
himself.
What did we come up with? Just the
Just
jersey
the-
or
I
the
guess-
straight face?
I actually like the jersey. We're all co-signing on the jersey.
Okay, jersey it is.
Or
Boom.
he could do something like where he just, you know, held 3 fingers and he just
What the fuck is that?
too much,
Why?
like up the court.
Does he do that with his face? You look crazy.
The people listening to the podcast and not watching have no clue.
Oh,
what
definitely
You
we're doing.
gotta, you gotta go check
gotta
that
We
out.
gotta get to that part.
What,
Because
what
of
time
that.
are we at? So they know when to go watch.
That was around 1 hour and 1 minute.
There you go. Go 1 hour and 1 minute. We'll watch Brandon.
All right, fly like an eagle. All right, Boomtown asks, PG went in more depth about the closed-door meeting after the Denver loss. Talked about this a little earlier. He said both Russ and Melo need more from him. Is this the pecking order talk that many have been referencing? Russ, PG, then Melo? We kind of talked about this already.
I think, yeah.
To
I
a
think
certain
so.
extent.
Yeah.
You know, I doubt it's like, okay, it goes you, me, and then you. It's
Yeah,
not
they-
that,
They
but
just want him to be more aggressive.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think really probably the airing out of everything and try to get it all out there was so that they're not saying, hey, man, you haven't had a shot. I
Yeah.
need to make sure you get your shot.
yeah, it's probably like
You need to
something
make
like,
sure-
don't worry about me.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
don't
just-
worry about, if you have the shot, you take the shot. You know, if you don't have the shot,
pass
move
the
it. Yeah,
shit.
and I'll take the shot.
Yeah. He also asked the second question while he's sitting next to Jacob earlier, I assume.
Yes.
Not now. Would y'all rather have Dion Waiters or Carmelo Anthony?
Melo. That
Melo.
one's easy for
Oh
me.
yeah.
I think
Dion,
Melo as well.
I think Dion's really fun to watch him on another team where
Also, when he
shoots
murders people's
crazy,
knees.
He shoots crazy shots like these, you know, ridiculous threes that go in, but most of the time they,
They don't,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, he's much more fun to watch on
Did you
somebody
guys
else's team.
watch
I
him?
would like to have him on the team, but
Did you guys watch him dive into Gobert's knees?
no,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I saw that
It's-
Gobert thought it was dirty, right?
It looks a little.
Well, he's out
Really?
for like.
It was
4 to 6 weeks.
To me, it looked not dirty, but reckless.
Yeah.
It looked
I think reckless is a better
semi.
word.
He like was falling, but then moved his body into him. It was very weird. Anyways, Ron, can Presti pull off the ultimate magic act and trade Michael Cage?
Oh.
Please.
I would love that.
Okay, so is Michael Cage
I don't know.
getting,
That's pretty dirty, partner.
is he getting worse?
Yes.
Or has he been around for too long that we just can no longer
No, I
stand
think
him?
he's getting worse.
Well, I thought.
and I already hated him in the first.
Yeah, I
place.
thought I would just like the annoyingness would just wear off, where it'd be like I just wouldn't hear him anymore. But it's so much worse now.
And
so
like
bad,
the
man.
bias that those two announce with is just so frustrating. What was it in the Sacramento game? I think in the fourth quarter, Cage said, "Well, now the offense is looking great when the Thunder have like fucking 70 points." I was like, "Dude, just shut up! Like, stop talking."
I think that he means well. Like he
Yeah.
seems like a super nice guy.
He seems super nice.
Bad at his job.
Also, they just need to get him back of the head headphones
Oh,
because
I
I can't
hate
look at his
those.
head in those headphones.
Yeah, his
anymore.
little.
It's-
He's got.
it-
It goes to a
his
point.
His skin
and it
comes through it.
Why would you wear the one that has an opening?
You
It doesn't make sense.
You would.
I can't stand that guy.
He's
All right.
bad.
At the Brody 2020, his name is OKC is a flagrant foul, which is a reaction when Kyle Singler entered the game and scored on a nice J.
I thought about
cheered.
going to buy lottery tickets.
Yeah, I
You should
cheered.
send him to do it.
Speaking,
I instantly go into, should he be playing?
Yeah, right.
yeah.
35 minutes? 35? Anyone?
So, quick story before we move on to the next one. Speaking of lottery tickets, I was at the Dallas game last night,
And you won the lottery?
and there was 3 guys sitting next to me. They left for about 10 minutes, showed back up, sat down. I am not shitting you. They had like a phone book thick size stack of scratch offs. probably spent like $400 on scratch-offs
Wow.
and just sat there from the first to the
people do
fourth
that.
quarter just scratching. Didn't even watch the
What a
basketball
weird
game.
thing.
I know. And at one point, my fiance sitting next to me overheard them say,
Humble brag.
no,
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to saying fiance. She overhears them say, now I know it's not going well now, but this is a solid investment.
Wow.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not a solid investment.
How
ever.
old were they?
I don't know, probably about our age, probably like late 20s.
Very-
Looked like,
You
they
don't know how
looked
old
like
I am.
they like squeaked by college. There's a bunch of dumb fucks.
Oh wow.
But moral of the story, don't go buy lottery tickets at the game and then not watch the game. And
Forever
just
I didn't know
lottery
you could
tickets.
get lottery tickets. At the
Oh
game.
yeah.
No way.
I know people that get them every game.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
You in the pamphlet at the when you get in, they have like a buy one get one for lottery tickets. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
And the it's
Got
a great
a
deal
dang
if
old-
you're
Maybe that's what they
looking
did.
for
Dang-
400
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Dang old coupon.
All right. Thunder up. Could we have won without Kyle Singler?
Great question.
Absolutely no. Those were the most important 2 points.
Next.
Next, Zach Weber, 33. He's got a 33 in his name. Melo seems to be really buying into the whole defense thing this year. Can he keep this effort up all year?
I think so, especially if they limit his minutes and don't ask so much from him offensively. I think he can dial in a little bit more defensively.
He's not too bad when it's just body on body. And like you said, no, that's what I mean. When you're not talking about dribble penetration, you're not talking about anything having a deal of a guy on ball. You guys are super immature today.
Penetration.
But yeah, and then when he's able to get his hands in there and slap the ball away, that's when he's at his best. Now, if you get him out there on the perimeter and he's having to play a guy off the ball and is a great shooter, that's where he's
having
in
to fight
trouble.
through screens and
Yeah,
whatnot.
screens,
That's where he's
that's
in
It's
trouble.
kind of where he just gets to sit and be like, well, I'm here.
Right.
So, all right. Todd Lytle. I did it right.
Nice.
Woo! Was Billy Donovan Dracula for Halloween, or is that a year-round thing? Year-round.
Yeah,
Year-round.
it's got to be.
It is nice for him though, because like if he doesn't have a costume picked
He's just
out,
like-
he's like, huh.
Well, I guess this is me.
He's
And
also
then-
Russian.
Yeah. Well, Dracula. Sort of Russian.
That's where the mobster comes in.
Yeah.
He could just put on the
East
tracksuit.
Euro.
Yeah, really, that's his easiest costume is the tracksuit and the gold chain. Because I think he has a gold chain already.
But he could just get a cape with a collar on it. Boom.
He could totally be,
Like, which one's easier to find?
He could do both.
in like 20 years, he could totally be
Mobster.
Carl
The
from
mob-
Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You guys know who I'm
Oh,
talking about?
yeah, for sure. The mobster
He'd put on some
Dracula,
weight.
though. That's pretty good. All right,
would be
Cass asks PG-13 for MVP, or at least DPOY.
You know, I
Defensive Player
I
of the
didn't
Year.
think he had a chance at Defensive Player of the Year before the season
starting
started,
to.
and he actually has a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's looking good.
Yeah.
it's insane.
I don't think MVP will happen just because he's on a team with Russell Westbrook and
Hell, if he
Carmelo.
keeps averaging 37 or 39 a game or whatever.
Maybe, but I mean,
And they need to win.
They better win a few more games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Hey, we're at 500.
Yeah.
Not yet,
Almost.
right? 6 and 7.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, yeah, they gotta be
6 and slightly
Chicago.
under.
Sorry.
Eric and Chambray, do you guys feel like PG-13's defense is some of the best in the league when one-on-one? Also, do you guys expect it to be as good as it has been for the rest of the time?
I actually think he's a better defender off the ball than he is. I mean,
He
he's
is
still really
incredible.
good on the ball, but off the ball, he's really good. Like,
Incredible.
And I knew he was a good defender. I didn't know he was this good of a defender.
yeah, I'm
Like
with you.
when obviously I
agree.
didn't watch him as close in Indiana as I do here, but I always knew he was good, but I didn't know he was this good.
Agreed.
All right, Cody Mullins. What score disparity is necessary to see Collison get late minute playing time?
No score.
50 up?
Yeah, what is it? Like, is he
No
I'm
score.
gonna say up 20.
20? That's it?
Up
like
20.
with 30 seconds left?
Up 20
But
with,
then
like,
it's
2
almost like
minutes
an
left.
insult to him.
Yeah, just don't.
You know?
Yeah, no score.
No need.
Do you
Doesn't need to play.
is it what will he get rotation minutes this year?
No.
No.
Like legit
Not at all.
time, maybe 1 or 2 games.
I
Wh-
thought-
who would that be against?
See, so
I
I
thought he would get time against the Clippers. Is that what you're gonna say?
No,
Sorry.
fuck you.
Kings,
No, wrong.
Randolph.
Kings,
Yeah.
Randolph.
Oh, fuck you too, buddy.
Sorry, I got violent. All right, so no.
You
Josh,
guessed wrong. Fuck you.
don't. Yeah.
Don't talk
Josh,
to me.
Jeremy Grant potential? Anyone? That's Josh asked that.
Oh,
That's his name.
I don't know. What is the ceiling for Grant?
Trevor Ariza again?
Trevor
Yeah,
Ariza.
that's right. You have said that before.
Interesting. See, I don't see him as a Trevor Ariza type. I don't know.
He's more athletic than Ariza,
He's bigger. He's longer.
but I
If
Not
he
as
could
good
get
of a
that
stroke.
shot.
role wise,
Yeah, I think it's Trevor Ariza.
Are you gonna tell me to fuck off too?
I don't. Yeah, I don't really
might.
know if there's like a
elbow
really
you.
similar,
Keep those
really similar player to him.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that earlier. Is it like he's kind of just going to end up being a pretty good Jeremy Grant?
Yeah, this is something I definitely want to think about though, because it's like, who plays like Jeremy Grant? No one, because he doesn't really know how to play. He just uses his athleticism.
He's just big and goes. Ah!
Yeah.
He started to do better.
Man, his dunks though.
Oh man,
He flies.
We should have a Jeremy Grant dunk celebration every podcast. You know, just
I agree. I like that.
cheer for it.
All right, last one, guys. You ready? Shannon Ward. If Melo had a sore back in the game versus the Clippers, can we root for sore back Melo rather than Olympic Melo?
I like that.
I like that.
that
That's pretty
question.
good.
Yes,
Yes, we can.
absolutely.
I agree.
Good
he
question.
threw it out, loading up all those
Yeah,
boxes
stop
of food.
doing charity work, bro.
Did he have a sore back in the Clippers game, or is
I
that
thought it
just a
was
speculation?
because of
thing?
the Clippers game.
Is that what Blake Griffin like having to deal with him? Maybe
Yeah.
he got him he is old now.
That and the charity work.
What
which
was weird though?
cut
Melo
that shit
wasn't
out.
at the game. You
Yeah.
guys notice that?
Apparently his back's
Was
so
it-
sore that he can't get
I
to
bet
the
he was
arena.
in the back and like the.
I bet he just
In the
didn't want to
locker
come
room.
in and was like,
Well,
"Meh."
he was at the morning shoot around thing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So
So he at least did that.
yeah.
maybe
just-
maybe he was hungover like we talked about, and he was that, and he was like,
Could've
I'm
been.
not getting better. I'm not getting better. I'm staying home.
He's
sore back.
Just played 2K in the back. That's what he did. All right. No!
Speaking of
boy.
Carmelo Anthony, he passed Allen Iverson for 24th on the all-time scoring list.
His prior teammate.
Yep. What a weird
times.
combination that was.
Yeah.
Right?
Very strange.
I mean, obviously this way back in the day, and it's kind of hard to remember the details of them playing together, but just thinking about it,
seems-
Melo, Iverson, same team. It's kind of like Russ
like
Melo,
today.
but that's back in Melo's prime. Where
It's like Russ Melo, but better.
yeah, they went 1 and 2 in the league in scoring one year on the same team.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Carmelo Anthony, speaking of him again,
Huh.
held a Feed the Children event for the Carmelo Anthony Foundation in Oklahoma City on Saturday, helping the people. I don't know.
You gotta feed the folks,
Feed
you know?
the folks, helping the folks.
Feed the folks.
That's cool though. That he's doing some work around the
nice,
city.
yeah.
It's nice.
Maybe put some
like a-
little icy hot on his back next
I
time.
still feel like that about Melo too. Like he's such a mega star. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't something about him. He's like such a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy still that he lives here.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't match
Yeah.
his personality. Russell Westbrook has kind of launched his new clothing brand. Honor the Gift is what it's called. He held a little pop-up shop at Penn Automotive on 39th and Penn in Oklahoma City on Saturday. Did you guys see some of that video?
Yeah, it did.
Looked kind of cool. They had a cool setup going. He said it was had like a vintage vibe in that shop.
Looks like a lot of
Already?
NASCAR-y type
Was
stuff
it?
to me. I don't know.
Right.
I just got that vibe from him. There was one shirt I think that had like a car on it.
It's safe to say that he
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
It's safe to say though he was not going for a NASCAR look. I
no,
would say.
no.
Yeah.
You never know though. Russ might show up to a game
Just
wearing a
start-
full-on NASCAR jumpsuit.
Like Ricky Bobby.
I actually used to know a guy at ACM. He used to wear NASCAR jackets like all the time. It was pretty
Like,
interesting.
what do you
Like the full-on like driver's jackets, like the Reese's cup.
like with all of the
Yeah, with all the sponsors and
yeah,
stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
He'd
like
go for
Dunkin'
it.
Donuts.
Yeah, he really went.
You gotta be a big fan to wear something that looks that
I don't think he
ridiculous.
ever watched a day of NASCAR.
He just liked the jacket.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He felt cool when he drove in it. That's amazing.
I'm gonna take a fucking left.
It's always left.
Yeah.
Never gets to where he wants
It's
to
like,
go.
I can't go over there.
Markel Brown of the OKC Blue and Samaje Christian have made the USA Basketball World Cup qualifying roster. Huh?
Good for them.
Yeah. Samaje Christian's gonna screw it up, man.
Nah, he's good.
That is cool though that he's got something. I hope he finds a place somewhere. I wonder what he's holding out for. Like if he thinks he might get signed by a team, or I don't know. You think he could at least go overseas if he wanted to for a year?
Definitely.
Sure he
He's already
could.
done that once. Yeah.
Hal Tickanor, I think I screwed that up horribly, from YouTube asked if we discussed the Cantor LeBron fight,
Oh,
which
we did.
happened tonight.
No,
yeah, we
that
did.
just happened.
We
So,
did before the pod, but
Yeah.
who won?
I don't
Ask him who won.
who did win. But yeah, I guess Cantor and LeBron got in a little scuffle.
Cantor's not
Cantor
scared,
Face to
man.
face.
Cantor?
Cantor's wanted by Erdogan and the Turkish government. I don't think he's scared of LeBron James.
It's
not
funny
just
though. He
fucking
gets a little lippy sometimes.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't back down.
Got a little too big
Unless
for his
Bo gets
britches on that
standing
one.
over Russell Westbrook, then he doesn't want to do anything.
Ooh. That was uncalled for.
Paul George held a local fishing event here in Oklahoma City today. If you're listening today, if you're listening tomorrow, yesterday, and said, "I've yet to really be able to get out and around and do as much fishing as I want. Hopefully, there's a summer for that here, and I can do that." This goes back to what we were talking about
Twitter
earlier.
question, yep.
He added, Oklahoma's home for me, so this is a fun start to this journey.
Woo!
What? Are you serious?
He's here for life.
Yeah, he's retiring here. That's for sure.
It does
Also-
suck that it's not like fishing weather right now. Maybe
Yeah.
he likes to get bundled up and fish, though.
He had a little time for that earlier. But
You think he likes ice fishing?
cool that he did that with the kids.
That's cool.
Melo and PG helping out in the community already. That's nice.
Not Russ.
Good to see. Yeah, Russ, what the hell? Selling us stuff? Come on, bro. Did you have enough?
That is cool, though. I hope he gets some good fishing weather so he can like it more and more and more. All right, up next. Hey, I lost in Hero Zero.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep,
to high five
I
with
lost. So we
mics.
got to come up with a punishment. What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do?
Are we
We're
doing-
probably gonna have to come up with a few punishments and draw one out of a hat.
All right, that
Ooh,
works.
That's the move.
If
I
you
like
have
that.
any, send it to us. Seriously, send it to us at OKC Thunderheads on Twitter. Just send us your idea, and I will have to obey this punishment.
Make it
That
weird.
Makes it weird.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
makes it
that
weird.
sounds very
All right, so
awkward.
coming up on Wednesday, Thunder have Chicago at home. They beat the hell out of them at Chicago a couple weeks ago. And then Friday at San Antonio. That's going to be a tough game. So just 2 games to predict this week because we're going to podcast on Saturday. What do you guys got?
1-1. Beating the Bulls, losing to the Spurs.
2-0.
Obviously.
Woo!
Okay.
2-0.
Okay.
2-0.
I like it. Oh! I'm
I'm
going
about to
one.
lose points.
I'm going 1-1.
Thank God.
Oh,
1-1. Yeah.
Us losers have to stick together.
that's the company you're keeping.
It is going to be fun watching them against San Antonio, though. In that environment,
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be a good matchup, too. I think those teams will, I don't know, physicality-wise, have the same mindset. What about Kawhi? When is
I'm
he coming
surprised
back?
you guys picked
Never.
the Spurs to win without Kawhi. Like,
Yeah,
I
that is
still
kinda
think
crazy.
without Kawhi, if they can't.
But they're still good.
Okay.
Yeah, tough place to play. They're going to be ready to play.
Probably made a huge mistake. God damn it.
It is really weird.
I hope I'm wrong.
I
It
do
is
too.
really
I
weird
do
though,
too.
because I didn't expect Kawhi to be out. We knew that he was not going to start the season.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
weird that now it's
Well,
like
Pop-
months.
Pop
that
came
he's-
out and said he's like not making progress like they hoped.
Yeah.
And doesn't.
So he's not a robot. Or he is a robot, and it
and
just
he's
doesn't.
just down for repairs.
Yeah.
Do you
For
guys
longer.
think he was in that car that was hit by the truck? Maybe he was the guy who was.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe he was the car. Oh.
Whoa.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Follow us and tweet us at OKC Thunderheads. Jacob's over at ThunderMob405. Subscribe on iTunes. Do us a solid. Rate and review. We'd really appreciate it. Find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, all them
And
things.
YouTube Live.
And YouTube. That's right. I'm glad
Yeah.
you brought that up. We're going to start doing this, streaming these live every single podcast, hopefully. And they'll be up there for you to watch if you're a video type of person. Check out OKCThunderheads.com for all your Thunder needs, salary cap, depth chart, all the podcasts, articles, everything. Hear us on Dash Radio Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time. We will catch you guys on Saturday. No midweek pod this week. Just not enough to talk about. Only the Chicago game. They're bad. So if there is something to talk about on Thursday, then that means something went wrong, and that's not good. So then maybe we'll drop something. I don't know. We'll let you know. But for now, just Saturday. Till then, Thunder up.
Just realized I went back to that.
What?
What's wrong?
I don't know. Jason just
No,
says,
we're fine.